we are excited to announce a new method of fine-tuning available in our API called preference fine-tuning, and we'll be using a method called direct preference optimization, which is designed to help you create models that better align with user preferences, which should hopefully give increased performance where user feedback plays a critical role. Yeah, so currently in our API, we have supervised fine-tuning and the newly announced reinforcement fine-tuning. Most of our users have been using supervised fine-tuning to tailor our models for their use cases. And in supervised fine-tuning, you provide the exact input and output you want the model to have. So if you're creating a user chatbot, you'd give it the user messages and then the exact response. In preference fine-tuning, it's a little bit different. So instead of the exact input and output, you're going to be giving it a pair of responses where one is preferred over the other. And then our fine-tuning process will optimize it to learn the differences in those responses. And those differences could be things like response formatting, stylistic guidelines, or even like abstract qualities like helpfulness or creativity. So if you see our models maybe are a little bit too verbose or they're giving irrelevant answers, this fine-tuning can help guide it toward more concise and relevant responses by emphasizing the preferred behavior and then de-emphasizing the unpreferred ones. Another really good use case might be content moderation. So for example, if you have a specific style or tone you want your organization to have, preference fine-tuning can help guide it toward that. But yeah, let me show you actually how easy it is to start fine-tuning in our API. So here I am on the platform UI, and I'm in the fine-tuning tab. So when I hit create fine-tune, now you can see that there's a new drop-down for method, and I'm just going to select direct preference optimization. Next, I'll select the base model. In this case, I'll select GPT-4o. And then finally, all I have to do is upload the training data. And like I mentioned before, the format's a little bit different, so I'll go through a quick example. In this example, we're asking an assistant what the weather is like in New York City and providing it 2 pairs of responses, like I mentioned. And maybe we're making a chatbot, so we want it to be a bit more conversational. So in the preferred response, it's a bit more verbose, and then also responds in Fahrenheit. And in the unpreferred response, it's much more concise and responds in Celsius. So I'm going to take these examples, put them in a JSON-L file, where each example is going to contain the input messages, the preferred output, and then also the non-preferred output. So I'll go ahead and upload the data now. And we also provide some hyperparameters to tune, but I will just select the defaults for now and hit create. And so this is going to kick off the fine-tuning process. Depending on the dataset size, this could take anywhere from several minutes to several hours. But once it's done, we should be able to sample from the model the same way we would any base model in our API.
Man, it's so exciting. So have you had a chance for people to use it yet?
Yeah, so we've given early access to preference fine-tuning to several of our trusted partners, and we've seen good results so far. So as an example, Rogo AI is building an AI assistant for financial analysts, and they're using our models to rewrite and refactor user queries to give more relevant answers. When they used supervised fine-tuning, they couldn't quite get it to perform better than the base model, but with preference fine-tuning, they saw accuracy increase on their internal benchmark from 75% at the base model to over 80% with preference fine-tuning. So we're super excited to see what other developers can do with preference fine-tuning, which is why we're actually going to make this available for GPT-4o today and GPT-4o mini soon at the same price per train token as supervised fine-tuning. So if you out there are excited to start preference fine-tuning, I encourage you to check out our documentation later today.